Time to unleash the greatest moments of Game of Thrones.
The best thing I've ever seen on television.
As chosen by you.
A crown for a king.
From a treasure trove of epic scenes.
I got goosebumps, actually.
Across 7 explosive seasons.
My TV is coming alive!
Of feuding families.
The Lannisters and the Regards.
And cataclysmic vengeance.
These women are much more powerful than the men.
Everybody has a motivation to kill.
Villain or hero.
Characters very quickly taken out.
Death comes for all.
You're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
This perfect poetic justice.
As ice and fire unite.
Wow, that is an intense scene.
The endgame is in sight.
She's hardcore.
Who will claim the throne?
It's about survival, it's about power, it's about revenge.
The results have landed. So don't even blink.
I didn't see that coming.
As we reveal your greatest moments.
I love this show.
I was watching, thinking like there's like the fire's burning, candlelight. I was thinking this is good.
At number 25, it's Melisandre's big bedtime reveal.
That was one of the best twists.
I did not expect that. I didn't expect it at all.
The Red Priestess has been hot property in Westeros.
For the night is dark and full of terrors.
I truly believe that she believes in the Lord of Light. She's 100%, she's got this blind faith, and that's why we like her. That's why I like her.
She's enticed the powerful to reach out and touch faith.
She's always used her sexuality to manipulate men.
Stannis was so bewitched, he sanctioned a terrible sacrifice.
Stuff that she's doing is grimbo, like nasty.
Now in this moment, we see the beauty is facade, but the magic is ancient and very real.
She takes off the red dress, and we're thinking, okay, where are we going with this? And then she takes off the necklace. And you see her reflection change in the mirror. What happened to the beautiful red-headed Melisandre?
She's got this young figure, but behind that, she's actually a very old woman that's been alive for many, many years, believing in this god. However, I feel like that scene kind of showed us she was starting to lose faith.
Not being ageist, of course, obviously old people should have sex, but it makes you wonder, like, she's getting sexy with all these young men.
They can't seem to resist her, can they? Apart from Jon Snow.
Undoubtedly a more powerful character with that aspect. That she can manipulate what she looks like and how she appears to people.
She's like a huge wealth of experience and so much magic that she can make herself incredibly beautiful. That's very powerful. You don't know what she'd do with someone else, and that's pretty terrifying because she can have that power over anyone.
You felt quite scared. You felt like, what's happened here? And cheated of the glory moment that we were all hoping to see.
Bran is the firelighter who started the raging fire.
Next up at 24 is Bran Stark's downfall.
Climbed that tower against his mother's wishes.
He was this happy-go-lucky kid who just liked sort of living around the castle and being outdoors.
Everything went pear-shaped after that.
It's beautifully paced in that you know he's going to find something at the top of this tower and eventually comes across a scene that a young man should not see.
Being a 10-year-old boy, I don't know if I quite grasped perhaps the intensity of the scene back then.
You can see that Jaime's having sex with somebody, but then you kind of think that it must just be some wench that he's picked up from Winterfell, and then eventually her face is shown, and it's his sister.
And the strange thing about he's this sugary character, but he's sleeping with his sister.
Obviously, I didn't see any bit while we were filming.
Stop!
But
Stop!
yeah, you certainly got that these were strange people.
Are you completely mad?
He saw us.
That's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
He saw us.
I heard you the first time.
You know, Game of Thrones, incest, violence, whatever, it's sort of not normal, but it's sort of, you know, the language of the programme now. But at the time, certainly it was hugely shocking.
We go steaming right ahead into all those taboos, and we completely shatter them and dance on them.
Quite the little climb, aren't you? How old are you, boy?
10.
10.
Jamie is trying to please his sister. She's in a complete panic, the fact that Bran has seen him, because she knows what it means. But he knows what it means too, and he knows that if the incest is discovered, not only will he and his sister be put to death, but their 3 children may very well too.
It's a measure of the lengths the Lannisters are prepared to go to achieve their goals, which, you know, they'll do whatever it takes.
I think it's a fantastic moment because it sets up the tone of Game of Thrones so well. In a conventional drama, Jaime might cuff Bran round the ear and say, "Go away, don't tell anyone about this." But no, what he does is far more shocking.
And he does it almost with a punchline.
The things I do for love.
There's no remorse. You know, there's just this relish.
A sinner comes before you. Cersei, of House Lannister.
It was Schadenfreude, wasn't it?
Cersei and the Walk of Shame.
And what an awful haircut.
At 23, it's Cersei's great come-down as she fights to hold on to her son.
She lost Tommen to Marjorie.
Take her.
Hell-bent on destroying Marjorie, Cersei empowers High Sparrow and his religious fanatics to help.
I am the queen. Tommen! Tommen!
In order to get Tommen back, she wanted to pretty much destroy Marjorie.
But she is sealing her own fate too.
It's like Downton Abbey on acid.
Bad choice. Very bad choice, bad deal. Terrible move. It was a really, really bad gamble.
What will we find when we strip away your finery?
And because she's dealing with people of faith, then they can't be bought.
And now comes a greater foe than Marjorie, as they bring out the big nuns to make Cersei confess to affairs out of wedlock.
The Walk of Atonement took 4 days in total in Dubrovnik Old Town.
To demonstrate her repentance, she will cast aside all pride.
Who would have thought we would have felt sorry for Cersei until the Walk of Shame, which was heart-wrenching. It was very, very tough for her. Very few women could have done what she did, complete that walk.
I felt complete sympathy for her and thought, and I felt absolutely zero satisfaction in her walk of shame.
It's such a sexualized form of humiliation, and one that, you know, would really bother Cersei the most of all.
Ultimately, to watch Cersei's downfall, I mean, talk about moving and shocking.
Shame.
It was really, really an extraordinary piece of television.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
You really did feel for her there. Absolute power at the beginning, to being really fragile and humbled on the streets.
Shame.
Her subjects, the people in the city that she completely despises, has no respect for, get their own back.
I hadn't expected to find it so harrowing. And people coming out of nowhere, chucking themselves at you. And of course, we had to do every section twice because we had Lena acting it, and then we had a girl called Rebecca who was her body double. Bless her.
It has to go on and on and on. This is not a short punishment.
They just had pots and pots of horrific bodily fluids. And you just thought, my God, that really looks real. Are you sure that hasn't been contributed to in some way? I think one of the reasons it makes it such a standout scene is because it is utterly relentless.
Not the typical violence, you know, a different kind of emotional violence against a character that we've gotten used to loathing, and then suddenly we want to save her from that.
And you see her trying to maintain this regal presence, but she can't.
She's bruised, she's cut, she's covered in spit and fruit and shit. It's a proper destroying of a character.
When we reach the Red Keep and I'm stopped and she carries on, you can feel, I just thought she was brilliant the way she played it. They were so tight in on her. And the way you just see her finally breaking down as she reaches that door.
It's good to have you back. And then, boom, the twist at the end. In comes Mega Mountain Zombie Man.
I felt complete satisfaction when she was swept up into the arms of my own killer.
Cersei Lannister has been for a long time my favourite character on Game of Thrones. I don't judge it by whether the character's a goodie or a baddie. I judge it by, I can't wait to see that character on screen again.
What's in there?
Fuck off.
Charming. And we'll have more great moments from the Seven Kingdoms after the break.
That's when you realise nobody is safe.
Welcome back to Game of Thrones' greatest moments, as voted for by you, the fans. At number 22, it's the moment that redefined TV drama and stunned us all.
It was at that moment you realised what Game of Thrones was really about and what risks the show was willing to take to kind of entertain and torment their audience.
Wrongly accused of treason and aware that Sansa has struck a deal to save his life, Ned, for once, puts honour aside and throws himself on the mercy of the king.
My mother wishes me to let Lord Eddard join the Night's Watch. Stripped of all titles and powers, he would serve the realm in permanent exile. And my lady Sansa has begged mercy for her father.
He does do what has been suggested to him, and that is that he does confess to treason. Although sticks in his craw, obviously, but he does do it. Because he's been given reason to believe that if he does that, okay, he may end up in the wall, but he will not be killed. But then he didn't reckon with Joffrey.
Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
The title of it should be Don't Get Too Fond of Anybody.
Nobody knew, not even Cersei, knew what Joffrey was going to do there. And that's the power of drama, basically.
Now that Joffrey's in power, you see that there's a whole shift in this Game of Thrones. This is the person now in control, and he doesn't have mercy, and even his mum can't control him.
When he actually says, give me his head, that's when his mother goes potty. And that's when he really revels in the discomfort that he has caused every other single person in that square.
And no one is more distraught than Ned's youngest daughter, Arya, who bears witness to the horrific scene from agonisingly close by.
She's very brave. She does want to look. You know, her sister Sansa's crying, but she is just staring at her dad, willing it not to be.
Her desire to save her father with direct action, is really part of her character. And of course, defines her, at least in that moment, from her sister, who had also tried to save her father, but by negotiation.
The children are trying to stop this happening, and it's not going to stop. It just brings a much more human aspect to a very barbaric scenario.
Once you've got Ilyn Payne walking up the steps towards you, that's it.
You think, well, there's going to be something. There'll be someone will shout something. Arya's going to get there. There'll be something, definitely.
This is not a Robin Hood movie here where 3 guys are going to swing over the fence and beat the 37 guardsmen who are surrounding the merry man who's about to be